We've talked about former super mayor Tiffany Henyard so many times on this channel. It's honestly starting to feel like we're producing a full-blown Netflix original. Every episode more dramatic than the last. And just when it seems like the chaos might finally quiet down, boom, Tiffany's back, starring in yet another sequel straight out of the corruption cinematic universe. The newest plot twist? She strutted into court, stayed dead silent, and pulled the oldest move in the book, pleading the fifth. And no, this wasn't a side note. This was the moment her empire started to crumble in real time. Welcome to Chapter 97 of How Not to Be a Public Servant. Here's what went down. Tiffany Henyard, former Dalton mayor, part-time township supervisor, full-time chaos distributor, was dragged into court yesterday. Why? Because when watchdogs asked the most basic question, "Where's the money?" she vanished. Like poof, gone. Ghosted, as if transparency was just a bad Tinder match. The group behind the lawsuit? The Edgar County Watchdogs. If you've been around this channel, you already know they've been exposing Tiffany's circus for years. This time, they sued the village of Dalton, accusing her crew of flat-out ignoring FOIA requests. And here's the thing, FOIA isn't optional. It's the law. That law gives the public the right to know what their government is doing with their money. But Tiffany's team acted like that law was just a suggestion. The watchdogs weren't even asking for anything extreme, just the basics. Credit card receipts, meeting notes, expense reports. Simple stuff. But instead of handing it over, her administration pulled the legal version of new phone who dis? Like accountability was beneath them. So the judge had enough. Ordered her to show up in person, since she'd already been held in contempt for ignoring transparency laws. And when she finally appeared in court, her lawyer went straight for the classic spin move. She doesn't remember. It was too chaotic. Right? Chaotic because of her. Let's be real. You don't need a law degree to see what's happening here. Pleading the fifth might be legally smart, but for someone who claimed to be the most transparent mayor ever, silence says everything. And this isn't new behavior. Back when she was juggling both titles, mayor and township supervisor, her attorney, Brenly, told her to do the same thing. Plead the fifth. Sure, any decent lawyer will tell you to protect yourself. But let's not pretend. When someone with that much power suddenly goes mute, it's not confidence, it's fear. Because pleading the fifth doesn't scream innocent. It screams, the truth might put me behind bars. Think about it. Nobody pleads the fifth over a missing receipt or a typo in a meeting memo. You plead the fifth when the truth has sharp edges, when it cuts deep enough to shred your career or your freedom. And with all the sketchy finances, the missing funds, and the suspicious spending that's already come to light, Tiffany knows one wrong word could blow this whole thing wide open. That's why she's locked her lips. What makes this all crazier? This isn't a murder trial. Nobody's asking her to confess to a major crime. This is about public records, credit card statements. For crying out loud, if she had nothing to hide, she could have said it under oath. Simple. Instead, she clammed up, which tells you everything you need to know, whatever's in those documents. It's bad enough to keep her silent. So what's buried in there that she's so desperate to protect? Why, all the dodging, the delays, the legal gymnastics, if it's all just misunderstanding. Unless it's not. Unless she knows exactly what those papers show. Unless saying it out loud would tear the mask off completely. This isn't about public image anymore. This is about survival. And let's not forget, we're talking about credit card records. Nobody asked a hand over national security files or Area 51 secrets. But dysfunction? Oh, it's thriving. Her administration ran like a chaotic crossover between Parks and Rec and a Quentin Tarantino flick. This is the same woman who once waved random papers during a meeting, claiming a program was canceled, with zero proof. And when the court later asked for that proof, she basically shrugged and said, nah. And as if that wasn't enough, while the hearing was underway, the judge casually dropped another bomb, yet another lawsuit. Yep, added to the stack. At this point, Tiffany Henyard has so many legal battles swirling around her name, someone could make a YouTube channel just to keep track. The newest one, it doesn't just name her. It drags in the village of Dalton, the police department, and the Fire Commission, too. And when she was asked about it, Tiffany swore she didn't even know it existed, which, honestly, might not be a lie. With this many lawsuits, even she probably needs a spreadsheet just to keep count. But that's the game. That's how she moves. Her whole defense at this point isn't legal, it's spiritual. She's ghosting accountability like it's her full-time job. Call it what it is, a stall tactic. She's pressing pause on a story she knows ends badly, hoping the audience forgets to hit play again. And with the FBI reportedly digging into public funds and political retaliation, pleading the Fifth isn't just her safest option. It might be her only one. This isn't fear of speaking. This is survival mode on a crumbling tower of reckless choices. And what did Tiffany do after court? Oh, it gets better. She jumped on Facebook Live like she just stepped off a red carpet. You'd never guess she was fresh out of a courtroom for contempt and obstruction. Not a word about FOIA requests. Not a mention of lawsuits. No explanation for why she was even there. Instead, she treated it like a victory lap, smiling, thanking supporters, throwing up prayer hands, teasing a book tour, like she was a lead in a comeback story, not a defendant dodging subpoenas. According to Tiffany, the day was a total win, a success. I don't know what universe she's living in, but that live stream, pure delusion. She kept blaming haters, acting like people are targeting her because she's a first-suit mayor. No, Tiffany, people aren't after you because you're breaking barriers. They're after you because you broke trust. You turned public service into a personal payday. And for all her talk about faith, family, and fresh starts, she somehow skipped the part where she explains why she pled the Fifth. The silence said it all. And then there's the book. Let's talk about this masterpiece in marketing. Keith Freeman once joked Tiffany didn't even handle her own emails. Now she's an author? What's it called? Chapter 7, How to Dodge FOIA Requests. Chapter 12, Treating Public Records like Junk Mail. If she can't speak under oath in court, how she's suddenly ready to spill everything in paperback. Let's be real, this isn't transparency. It's PR. It's her way of rewriting the ending before the next subpoena hits. Remember, she had every chance to tell her story during re-election. She swore she had the receipts. She swore she could prove her innocence. But those receipts? Still missing. Not on podcasts, not in interviews, not in court filings. She had chance after chance to show the truth and never did. So why should anyone believe? This book will be different? Is it going to cover the missing money, the retaliation, the suspicious contracts? Or will it just be another, they hated me because I was first, sob story dressed up in motivational quotes? This isn't just another headline. It's a full-blown saga. The slow-motion unraveling of one of the most chaotic local governments in recent memory. Every court hearing, every leak, every live stream strips back another layer of the truth. So buckle up, because this ride is far from over. And let me ask you, would you actually read Tiffany Henyard's book? Because I would. She might never finish it, but I'd still flip through every page. Drop your thoughts below, because this story is just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.